Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Kinfire Chronicles. Welcome back to One Last Hand. I'm Scott, and this is episode 4 of this series. We came back to Vinna at the end of last episode, where we hunted down some bandits that had blown up the bridge on the way into town. They were hiding in a cave, and we uncovered that there was some sort of runes or a ward written on the side of the cave, and Roland deduced that whoever placed it there knows not only that their men are dead, that we killed them. So that is a somewhat foreshadowing what's coming back to bite us in the backside. We also have traded out some cards, both of them coming from Core's deck. So I got rid of Riposte, which is a green and red card, which also loses this boost token, and we got rid of Guarded Strike, which is a blue card, which gives us a block, and we brought in other helpful hand. Now this is a really interesting one. This is a green and red card, and what's interesting about it is these are 2 action cards. So normally you have an action card and a boost card, but in this case these are 2 action cards, and you can use them for any of the boost icons. Also going to mean that we keep action hands in our card. And then we also brought in Blade Storm, which is very similar to Guarded Strike, in that Guarded Strike gives us 1 boost here, and this one gives us 2 attack, whereas this one gives us 2 attack. We gain the focus, and it's going to give them weak. But additionally, this one allows us to move at the end of a turn as well. We can't put these in our deck just yet, so we'll keep these to the side. But that was our decisions. We didn't put anything in Roland's deck, as it turned out. We decided this was all we needed. So and then we came back to town. We spoke to Dara. We said we've dealt with the bandit. She was a little bit worried, and we're in the town, able to take a few actions. Okay, so with that being the case, we got a load of money. We just need to do a bit of housekeeping. If you're enjoying this series and you haven't, or if this is your first time to the series, I'd highly recommend going and checking out the playlist and starting at episode 1. Each episode's about an hour long. It's a nice little succinct little campaign. Obviously it might get more as we get more enemies. A little bit longer when we have a town phase to do as well. But there's that. Check out the Patreon. On the Patreon, it's got a load of free content over there, including our campaign blog, which has some insights in at the end of each episode. It's got kind of a recap, and then the decision process of me choosing these cards and those sorts of things. The mechanics is that if there was things I got wrong, all over there, all for free as well. But there's a load of content if you do decide to back the channel as well. I think that's everything. I think, from our point of view, obviously subscribe, like, and all of that stuff. Let's get into it. We need to take 3 actions. One of those actions possibly needs to go and sleep at the inn. I can't remember. I can't remember what we did. The quest is over, gain 3 city actions, so we don't necessarily have to go and sleep at the inn. We don't have any fatigue or anything, so unless we get someone we're out and about, we're probably fine. We don't need to go to Luca's Tea Wagon. We don't need to go to the Burnt Alchemist, because we did those last time. That leaves the Lighthouse construction, the shrine, and the wares. Now we've got quite a lot of money, but I'm tempted to go to the shrine first, so let's do that. We're going to find V4 in this deck of cards.
The Kinfire Shrine is small, nothing like the grand structures in Din Lux, but well tended.
Good day to you.
An elven priestess emerges from the shadows. Her golden mask shimmers in the light.
And I am the keeper of this shrine. May I be of some assistance?
You explain your purpose here in Vinna, but she seems to already know who you are. She tells you a little about the shrine and its recent construction. Before you leave, she stops you.
If I may ask, I saw a vision in the Kinfire last morn. A soul suffering and cast out. Some creature nearby is in need of Ziva's aid. If you come across anyone of this description, please let me know.
Okay. So I was just trying to sort out the cards while that was going on. There's a bit of a mess in Vinna, I will say that. Okay, so what have we got going on? So it says, take memory VA, which I've got here, and remove this card from Vinna. So this is VA. You spoke with Rani, the priestess who watches over Vinna's Kinfire Shrine. She told you a little bit about the shrine and also requested that you send anyone in need of assistance her way. Discard this card at the end of Quest 4. Okay, interesting. So I guess we tuck this up here for now. I'm just going to sort the rest of these cards out. Was there anything else I was doing? What card was it I took from here? Hold on a sec. I got myself in all sorts of a mess. This one we don't need because that's the one we've done before. Where was it we went to? We went to V4, right? What did I do with that card here? Did it tell us anything else? Sorry. Remove this card, Vinna. If you have memory VB, go to event VA. Otherwise, your city action is over. We don't have that, so feels like that was a bit of a waste of time. Well, not necessarily a waste of time. There's clearly something going on. We just don't know anything about it. We could go to the Lighthouse construction or we could go to the tavern. Now, my experience of RPGs is you get missions and stuff in a tavern, right? We're going to go to 6.
The tavern isn't much to look at from the outside. A rusty, unlit lantern hangs from the sign above the door, and the windows are hazy with dirt. Inside, however, you find the place bright and lively. There are packed tables everywhere, people eating, drinking, and filling the room with laughter. The dwarven tavern keeper appears from a back room carrying 2 mugs of ale.
Hello, loves. Grab yourselves a table and I'll serve you up some food and drink. A coin should cover the lot of you.
Okay, so if you stay, spend 1 coin for the food and drink, then go to event VB. Otherwise, return to the map. I think we're going to do that. We've got a coin. We don't really need to rest or eat, but we're going to do that. So, and we're going to go to event VB. You find an empty table in the back of the tavern. The keeper brings you a platter of hot food. The locals don't seem to pay you any mind as you eat, and a conversation at a nearby table catches your ear. You should have seen the fella. Half naked, hair all over, couldn't understand a word he said. Just sounded like gibberish to me. Thank the gods some of the boys chased him off. Well, better hope Priestess Rani doesn't get wind. She'll tan those boys' hides. Each seeker may remove any fatigue, we don't have any, or any exhaustion, sorry. Take memory VB, okay. Remove V6. Okay, so this is VB. When you stopped at the Lonely Tavern for some food and drink, you overheard rumours of a strange wanderer near Vinna who couldn't speak the local language. They were chased out of town by some ruffians, leaving them lost and alone somewhere outside of the village. Discard this quest at the end of Quest 4, or this card. So we've got 2 of those now. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to lie. I mean, this dude is maybe a werewolf. I'm not sure what I've done with V6. Oh, it's this one here. So V6 is the one we were reading, so we remove that. And then if you have memory VA and VB, which we do, interesting, go to event VA.
Priestess Rani had a vision of someone lost and in need of help. You think you may have discovered who it is. You meet with her at the Kinfire Shrine to tell her the rumors you've heard about a strange wanderer.
That poor being.
She says, a hand to her heart.
They must be so alone and confused. Please let me know if you decide to look for them. If they're found, they can stay here at the shrine. I might be able to teach them enough of the language to at least get by.
Okay. Discard memories VA and VB. We've done that. And remove this card from Vinna. Gain prompt Q17. Your city action is over. Q17, the stranger. Princess Rani has asked for your help locating a lost and confused stranger who is driven out of Vinna. When you embark on this quest, open quest 17. So we've now got 3 to do. Now, let's just have a look at some of these, because some of these have some orders to them that we need to have a think about. We've still got 1 town action, so we'll come back to that in a second. So we've got these 3 quests. This one is discard all other quests and then open number 4. So we don't want to do that one. So that leaves us with these. So we've got the murder and we've got this. So let's keep these here in whatever order we're going to do them in. I don't know. But that's that. We've got 1 town action left. What do we want to do? So we've been here. We've been here. We haven't been here. So it's really the shop or here, right? I don't know why I'm putting off the shop, but I'm tempted to hold on to the money. I feel like the first battle we did went okay. The second battle was really rough for us. The third battle went really well. So I'd like to see what's at the shop. But I'm also trying to gather as many story hooks as we can. We're going to go to the Lighthouse construction. So we're going to V7.
The construction site is bustling with workers carrying tools, shouting orders, and hauling around loads of stone and lumber. You soon find yourselves in the way, dodging ladders and wheelbarrows, and looking around for any familiar faces.
Okay, each seeker shuffles their deck and flips over a card. If any white are revealed, go to event VC. Otherwise, worried about interfering the craftsman's work, you leave. Okay, so let's shuffle our deck. And we're looking for a white card. Here we go. We've got a red card for Roland. You let us down there, Roland. I'm not going to lie, mate. Okay. Now we need to put riposte back in for now. Okay, riposte had a white card on, so fingers crossed. Here we go. We have blue. Boo. Okay. Okay, well that's disappointing. Otherwise, worried about interfering to the craftsman, you leave. Your city action is over. That's all 3 of our city actions done. So I'm guessing this goes back in the deck. Okay, sorry, I was just sorting out the rest of the shop, and the cards there. They're all in a horrible order. Okay, so that's that. That's all of that done. We now have to choose a quest. I feel like Ash and Bramble is the one for us, right? This is the dwarf. We went to the Alchemists up here. And it was burnt down to the ground, and the dwarf there, Hyot, told us that his friend and colleague was recently robbed and murdered. As much as I'd like to help the stranger, I feel like this one maybe is the one that's most appealing, and we want to make the town safe, right? So we're going to find quest 16 and open that up. I'll get it all set up and we'll be ready to dive in.
Before you reach the charred remains of the alchemist's lab, you can see Hyot Belgar, the dwarf you met back at the inn, muttering and pacing back and forth. He says when he sees you approach.
I feared you wouldn't come.
The dwarf bows a little awkwardly.
I give you my thanks.
You reassure him that you're happy to help.
This lab,
He says, turning to the burnt remains.
it belonged to my friend, Mika. He was a scientist, an alchemist. I am a scholar as well, but was never as talented as Mika. It was his obsession, really. His tools, his journal. He called it his legacy. He wanted his discoveries to make a difference, and to one day pass to his son. But now, it's all gone. His tools, his alchemical notebook. There's no sign of them among the ashes. Someone thought his life was worth taking in order to get them. Please, help me find whoever did this. Help me restore Mika's legacy. For his family.
Okay, go to 16.1. We can do that. Okay, 16.1 is here.
Hyot nudges the charred remains of Mika's workshop with his foot.
Mika worked too hard for his life's pursuit just to be sold off for some coin. Please, recover anything you can. His family, they deserve answers.
Hyot gives you a description of the missing tools and notebook.
About the size of an Ankylosaurus head. An engraved silver alembic. It's an instrument. Don't look at me like that. And his alchemical notebook has engravings like Viva's teeth on the front. Hope that helps. The day after the fire, I spoke to the guards about who had recently left through the town gate.
He pulls out a rolled up parchment from his robes and hands it to you.
Okay, Hyot gave a description of an item he believes was the items he believes were stolen from Mika's workshop. Several large glass vessels, an engraved silver alembic, and Mika's alchemical notebook, a bronze tome enchanted to withstand fire. I've already checked with the other local merchants and they've not heard or seen anything, Hyot added, though I doubt the thieves would attempt to sell such unique items here so close to the crime. More than likely they've left town to peddle them elsewhere, and if so, they would have needed a wagon to carry it all. Discard this memory at the end of quest 16. Okay, I'm going to tuck this one up here. I know you can't see this. We'll tuck this one up here and we'll bring this one here. Take memory 16B. According to the town guards at the gate, 3 wagons left Vinna the day after the fire. One belonged to a group of leather workers. They were wearing leather tunics and leather travelling boots and carried tools with them, including various knives. They left Vinna travelling west. One belonged to a group of elven pilgrims who had been visiting... What the heck? Who had been visiting Vinna's Kinfire Shrine. They were wearing long hooded robes, wore leather boots and carried short blades for protection. They left Vinna travelling southwest. The last wagon belonged to a group of mercenaries. They were travelling cloaks over their armour, had armour boots and carried war hammers and maces. They left Vinna travelling south. Okay, I'm not sure if that's helped me a huge amount right now. Go to 16.2.
You set out to investigate Mika's death and the fire that claimed his workshop, considering where you should begin. If you search the wreckage, it's possible that some clues survived the fire. The priests at the Kinfire Shrine might also be able to shed some light on the matter, as they would have been responsible for taking care of the body. Finally, Luca's T-Wagon has a clear view of the workshop. Perhaps Luca saw something that night.
Okay, choose from the options below. You may not return to an encounter that you've already visited. To search the wreckage, go to 16.3. To visit the shrine, go to 16.4. And to question Luca, go to 16.5. I mean, the first thing we do is always search the wreckage, right? So 16.3. Little remains of Mika's workshop, apart from a pile of charred wood and blackened stone foundation. A layer of ash covers everything. Search for clues. Each seeker flips 2 cards. To find a clue, you need 2 blue. Okay, so we're going to get our guys to flip their cards. I should have left out the cards that I flipped before, but I haven't. So hold on, Roland has something here. Roland knows quite a bit about the destructive effects of fire. He may flip an additional 1 card. Okay, so we're starting with Roland and we're looking for 2 blue cards. We have a white, which is a blue, if that makes sense. It's a wild card. And we have another white, which is a blue. We've got 2 clues. I don't need to flip any more. Okay, great. However, these 2 heal cards are now in our discard pile. If you succeed, take memory 16E. You found a set of footprints at Mika's workshop. The tracks appear to be underneath the ashes, suggesting that they were made before the fire. According to Hyot, they were the wrong size to belong to Mika. The shape and depth of the prints indicate a pair of lightweight leather boots. Discard this memory at the end of quest 16. Lightweight leather boots. Were these all wearing leather boots? Let's just have a quick reminder. Wearing leather travelling boots. They were in long hooded robes and wore leather boots. They were wearing cloaks over their armour, had armoured boots. So we can rule out south, right? Okay. Okay, look at us. Like Sherlock Holmes. Search the wreckage of the... Oh, we've done that. If you wish to continue an investigation, otherwise you leave town in pursuit of the culprits. Go to 16.6. What? I don't get to do any more searches? I've got a choice of 2. That doesn't help me. Oh, sorry, I was being an idiot. If you wish to continue the investigation, each seeker gains 1 exhaustion and you return to 16.2. We're going to do that to see if we get the last clue that we need. So 16.2, we get to go to Luca. 16.5.
You find Luca, a very large and somewhat hulking man, wedged inside the small interior of his wagon, pouring a cup of tawny-colored tea.
Orcish blend,
He says, closing his eyes and inhaling the fragrant steam. You ask him about the night of the fire. He furrows his brow, eyes still closed.
I did see something. A group lurking near the workshop. Long cloaks, shadowed faces.
He opens his eyes.
I'm afraid I didn't get a good look at them.
Okay. I'm not sure if that helps me a huge amount. I just need to know when I'm taking exhaustion what I do with it, because I can't remember if we put it in exhaustion cards. They are lingering stats rather than temporary ones and only trigger when you discard your hand after running out of action cards. Does it say it over here? Armor, exhaustion? No. When you discard your hand, I mean, I presume they go into our hand. I'm going to put them in our discard pile for now. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to remind myself of where they go. Okay, so what did he tell us? He told us they had long cloaks and shadowed faces. Let's bring this one back down here. So the top ones were a group of leather workers. They were leather tunics and travelling boots. The group of elven pilgrims were wearing long hooded robes, wore leather boots and carried short blades. I mean, it's got to be them, right? It's got to be the middle one. We're heading southwest. So otherwise, go to 16.6. Here we go. You return to the gate of Vinna after investigating as much as time is allowed. If you want to catch the culprits, you must leave soon. The question is, which way? So we are going to go southwest. 16.8. 16.8.
You travel southwest and soon come across the pilgrim's wagon, lying overturned across the road and deserted. Around the wagon are frenzied footprints, some clearly made by a set of massive clawed paws. Inside, you discover the shattered remains of Mika's glass vessels along with his silver alembic, the sides scarred with deep gashes. Studying the tracks, you can see that the pilgrims abandoned their wagon to flee into the hills, and that some creature, followed close behind.
Okay, so it says discard memory 16A through 16E. So we only had 2 of them, 16A and E, so we'll get rid of those. And then, what does it say? Take memory 16F. You caught up to the pilgrim's wagon on the road southwest of Vinna and discover that they were indeed the culprits who murdered the alchemist, Mika, and stole his research. The pilgrims themselves were nowhere to be seen, but inside their turned-over wagon you found smashed remains of the glass vessels from Mika's workshop, along with his almbiac. Deep gashes lined the sides of the almbiac, and massive clawed paw prints could be seen surrounding the wagon. Discard this memory at the end of quest 16. Okay, go to 1610. So I'm guessing if we'd have followed the wrong way, we'd have got some exhaustion, would be my assumption. Okay, so the pilgrims left clear tracks leading into the wilderness. You follow them up a sharp slope with green foliage of Vinna gives way to the dark gnarled trees and red trunks and purple-hued underbrush. The strange landscape must have been left behind by a starless night. Just ahead, in the crook of a tree, you see what must be the body of one of the pilgrims, crushed by the thick red vines coiled around him. Judging by the tracks, at least one other pilgrim continued on. The passage ahead, through the trees and thick underbrush, won't be easy. Each seeker flips 2 cards and gains 1 fatigue for each non-red. Nars calls out directions. We do not have Nars, so we are going to flip some cards. So we're looking for red cards. Okay, we have core first. We have a white card, so that counts as a red, and we have a green card. That does not count as a red. So we get 1 exhaustion. We'll put that over here. And these 2 go into a discard pile. Okay. And then we've got our boy Roland, who has a blue and green card that is not red, and a blue card that is also not red. So they're going to go in our discard pile, and we'll take another exhaustion, 2 exhaustion for Roland. You know what I meant to say? I'm an idiot. I didn't rest in town, which meant I didn't get to change my cards in my deck. So bit dumb on my behalf, that one. Go to 1611. The trail of boot prints leads into the underbrush, but emerging on the other side is a set of much larger tracks obscured by the mud. You follow the prints to a cave where you hear the whimpering coming from the darkness inside. The red vines along the wall appear to be moving. Almost appear to be moving. Open the map to 20. Okay, we can do this. So this is Ash and Bramble that we're doing. We open the map to page 20. And put ally 16A in play. The vines lash out at you from the walls and pull you closer. Each seeker moves into an adjacent space with a trap icon if possible. Then each seeker suffers 1 damage for each trap in their hand. Or trapped. Okay, vines lash out of you. So we'll put this over here next to the board, and I hope to remember it. So that's these 2 symbols here. Okay. If you have memory 16F, which we do, you enter the cave to find a huge bear-like creature looming over you. Gain 2 fate and go to 1612. So we've only got room for 1 of these, which we can put here. But we do keep the other one for a later time. So we'll tuck that up there. And go to 1612, which is the battle setup. So we have our beast, which I have set up actually already. So let me move this out of the way. And if we take this out of the way, we should find that we have over here the Usor. Is that how you say that? Ursor. The momentous beast slashes with sharp, gleaming claws. The Ursa bellows and rips at whatever it can reach. Both you and the grasping vines entangle it. With a roar, the Ursor snatches up an enemy in massive paws, flings them against the wall. Discard all statuses from this sheet, then move the Ursor to a seeker in its space. Move the Ursor and a seeker in its space, if there is already one, into space containing a trap icon. That seeker gains 2 hurt, I think that is, 2 hurt, along with a trap. Then the Ursor refocuses. So apparently he doesn't get trapped, but he's always focusing on the person with the most traps. I don't know what that means at the beginning of a fight, but there's his health. Okay, maybe we'll tuck this over here just so we've got it. Interestingly, the darkness is on this token. Okay, that is intriguing. I almost messed up last time. I don't think I did, but I put the chip beside this just to remind myself of what had come out. I didn't put it on the track, and therefore I almost messed up. Let's just read this again. So, battle setup, we've done all of that. 9 to 12, 5 to 8, and 1 to 4 we've done. It's annoying that these are the wrong way round. I apologise. Okay. And then we've got the vines. Each seeker moves into an adjacent space with a trap icon, if possible. Then each seeker suffers 1 damage and for each trap in their hand. The monstrous beast slashes with sharp claws, 8 damage. Okay, pretty straightforward. 5 damage. Before attacking, the Ursor discards all traps from its sheet. With a roar, discard all statuses from this sheet, then move the Ursor and the Seeker into its space. Discard all statuses from this sheet, then move the Ursor and a Seeker in its space, if there are any, to a space containing a trap. That Seeker gains 2. I don't know if that means he gains a trap. The Seeker gains 2 hurt along with the traps. I'm guessing he does. I need to read what the Ursor refocuses. I need to read what refocuses means, because maybe I did mess up last time. Okay, let me get the rest of this set up. So you are going to be over here in this space. You're going to focus on the person with the most traps. We don't have one of those. We are coming in up here. Let me just show you the map of where we are. So obviously Core up here, Roland up here, and I think we're good to go. I just need to know what I need to do with our exhaustion that we picked up as we went, and I need to just check that I haven't missed anything where it says refocuses, because if that's actually something, then I missed it last time as well. So refocusing, when an enemy refocuses, move its focus token. Oh, that's all it means. It means choose who you're aiming at. I probably did miss that last time, but it just means we move this token around. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let me just put a pause in. I'll figure out what I'm doing with the exhaustion, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so our exhaustion starts in our hand. So we've dealt out our hands down here. We need to crack on. I think we need to draw out some chits and see who's going first. Ideally, I'd like him to go first and move towards us, but let's have a little look. We have a 2, which is him. I'm going to tuck these up here again and hope I don't forget it. Let's tuck these out of the way and we'll put you down here. Okay, so a 2 is he is moving and he is doing 8 damage. There is no one to hit. We're all good. Hopefully, it's our turn next. We have another him. It's 8. The Ursor bellows and rips at whatever it can. So before attacking, it discards all of its trapped, and then it moves into the same space as us, and it attacks us for 5. Now we, as Core, have 3 armor. Roland has 1 armor. I should just make sure I reset all the health and everything. I think I did. Yep. So he is attacking Roland for 3. He doesn't have any special coloured attacks. For 5, we are doing 3 block. We get rid of 1 armor card. And you can help us. So we'll also get rid of this block, which will give us another block. So he was hitting us for 5. We blocked 3 of them, plus 1 from here. He's hitting us for 1. Unlucky, mate. Okay. Now I'd really like it to be our turn. Okay, we have Core. Love it. Core is up. Okay. So Core's got a few choices, and the first one is this one, which is Vengeance of Ward. So Core gestures the earth and rises up. While this card's in play, enemies suffer 1 heart each time they move. So I'm going to tuck this just on the side of the board here to help me remember, or try and help me remember. So that's that. It's a free action, so we get to go again. Okay, I'm going to move into this. This might be silly. I'm going to move into the same space as Roland, and I am going to do Aftershock, which is Kerr slams his foot down, cracking the earth asunder. In a flash, a crevice opens up beneath Kerr's enemies, attempting to swallow them before sealing itself back up. We do 2 damage plus a stun. This attack targets another enemy in range for every shield you discard. We don't have any. So we're doing 2 damage. It's a red card, so we're going to get an extra 1 from Roland. So we're doing 3 damage. So that's 3 damage to you. I don't think... We haven't seen any enemies with shields or anything yet. So you're down to 17. And we get to put a stunned on you. And I think it makes sense. For now, I'm going to put it on this one. Just because he could hit us for 5. Whereas he'd hit both of us in that instance. I think it is. Yeah, this one's attack both. We are still the focus. So that's fine. And that is that. Right, we're back in the bag. Here we go again. We have... a darkness. Okay, so each seeker moves into an adjacent space with a trap icon. There isn't any, if possible. Then each seeker suffers 1 damage for each trap in their hand. We don't have any. Steering clear of these is going to be important, but we're going to struggle as that goes on a bit further. Good time for that to come out though. Okay, we have 10. 10 is down here. Discard all statuses from this sheet. Oh. Okay, then move the Urusur and a Seeker, if in their space, into a space containing an icon. I don't know if he would move in this instance or if his move counts as this. I'm not sure if he moves first and then does that. Let's just have a quick check. Okay, so I can't find anything specific in the rules. However, what I believe is the case is this says discard all statuses from the enemy, then move the Urusur and a Seeker if there's in his space to a space containing. I think you still get to do your normal move, which would be a move of 1. So he's going to move here, and then he gets to move a Seeker in its space if there are any. It is a Seeker, so we're going to move you and you down here. Now the combat around spaces with icons. First things first, he moved 1, so he takes 1 damage from the Vengeance of Stone card that we've got up here. Okay, and then we both moved over here, so he takes another damage from the Vengeance of Stone card, and then we both get a stunned, I think. But we gain a stun and 2 hurt, which is really rough for us. Okay. That's not great for us, as it turns out. Okay, I think that's everything. He then refocuses. He's focusing with a person with the most traps. Oh no, it's not stunned, it's trapped, right? That's bad news. Okay, so we can tuck that one back up there. We get a trapped instead of a stunned. And so does he. So he's not moving, and nor are we. Now, one thing I have forgotten is we both have special abilities. So Roland can use boost cards that don't match, and Core allows us to block a damage from somewhere else. But ideally, we'd really like to get out of the way. I'd also like to discard some of these exhaust cards. We're not in a great place. Okay. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I don't think so. We didn't take any damage from that, at least, but we're about to possibly. Each Seeker moves, so let's see if we get the darkness thing. We're okay there. We have number 9, which is the same thing. So he's trapped, so I'm guessing he wouldn't move in this instance. You know what? I'm putting this one back. I'm getting rid of this chip card to put this one back. We're going to try and avoid that for now. Okay, next we have Roland is up. Roland, I need something good here, buddy. Okay, this might work. So I'm going to move Roland here as his move, and then we're going to use Meteor Throw, which is a ranged attack for 3 damage. The focus is going to shift to Roland. So we're going to do 3 damage plus give him a hurt, which we'll put up here. So that's 3 damage. Can I give him any boost? No, but I can allow you to draw another card, which I will. So we'll draw 1 more card. We do 3 damage. He's down to 12. Okay. And we've put the hurt on him. And after attacking, you may move your target 1 space. Now, I don't know. When this ability triggers, discard this card. The enemy cannot move this turn. So I think we're allowed to move him to here. I probably should just check that, right? But I get the feeling, because of the wording is very specific, when the ability triggers, discard this card. So we aren't triggering an ability on them. We are just doing the ability on the card. So Meteor Throw is done. And that is that for you. Okay. Now we need another chip from the bag. He's down to 12 at least. We have Core is up. Okay, so when it's Core's turn, he takes 2 damage that cannot be blocked. 1 of those goes away. So that's 2 damage to Core. He's down to 16. Okay. Oh, we drew a card, right? We can boost the damage. Now, I'd like to... I've got 2 action cards left. At the end of this, I'm going to lose health for the cards we've got. He got moved, so we are doing another damage to him because of this card here. Okay, this works, I think. we're going to do a taunt. I'm not sure how happy I am about this, but we're going to do a taunt. Sneering, you mock the enemy. We're going to do an attack for 0 damage. It's a ranged attack, so we're doing no damage, but we do get the focus back on us. And then, if your target is in adjacent space, move it to your space. So we're going to move him back in here and give him another trapped card, I guess, over here. Perfect. Gain 2 block. Love that. That's great. Okay. And then, I mean, we were probably better off having him in a different space, but I think that's fine. We'll put that there. Okay. Back in the bag we go. We have Core again. Perfect. Now, I'm going to just discard a card, I think. I am going... So we take 1 damage that I can't block. So that's us down to 15, but we do get rid of this. I cannot move. Oh, hold on. While any cards are in your hand, you cannot move. If you did not gain it this turn, discard it at the end turn. So we've had a turn since we got that, so we can get rid of that. I am just going to discard this. When you discard your hand, suffer 1 damage for each of these. You may ignore this effect to discard this card at any other time. So we're going to discard 1 exhaustion and just stay where we are. Okay, back in the bag we go. We have Roland. That is great news. I'd love something that does damage per status effect right now, Roland, but you don't have it. Okay, we are going to do Firebolt. Draw back your hand, muttering the words of power, and utilize a blaze of flame launches from your palm. 2 damage plus a hurt, and give another hurt for every red card we discard. I'm going to get rid of 1 other red card, a boost. So we're doing 2 damage. So that's down to 9. Okay. And we're doing 2 hurt. I guess I'm going to put those on. Let's put 1 on each, I think. Okay, perfect. That's that one done. I'm reaching in the bag. I'm going to spend a fate token, I think. I'm a little bit worried about our turn. Where's the... We get to put the fate token. Hold on, I'm going to do it. We get to put the fate token in the void box. Okay, never to be seen again. But we reach in here. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I think it makes sense for us to get Core out of here. So I am going to move. And I am going to discard 1 card, which is this other exhausted. Okay, we need to figure out how we're getting rid of Roland's exhausted, but I think that's fine. So Core had his go. The rest of these go back in the bag. And we choose again. Number 9. Number 9 is this bottom action. So we get to trigger these 2 cards. So he is trapped, so he cannot move. So that one's done. And he is hurt, so he suffers 2 damage. So he's down to 7. But then discard all statuses from their sheet. He then moves. This is an interesting one. Let me just get rid of these. There's the trapped. And there is another hurt. So he's got rid of all of those. Discard all statuses from this sheet. Then move the Urasuran Seeker into a space if there are any. Space containing that. So, do I move him here? I guess so. I mean, I'm assuming so. He was already in one. Should we just leave him where he is? That feels like the most sensible thing to do. The Seeker gains 2 hurt, and he gets a trapped, which we will put on his... let's put on his top ability up here. No, let's put on this one, because we're both standing in the same space. Okay, we're back in the bag. We have... Core. Core is back up. He's only got 2 cards left. 1 action card. Okay, he is going to do a Shard Whip. So it's giving him the focus. He does 2 damage. Is there anything we can do? No, nothing to boost. So we get 2 damage on him. He's down to 5. And then if we discard one of these, we get armor. I don't need to, because we're going to reset all of this anyway. So we are out of cards. We are going to move over here. And then we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and get our lantern over here. And that is us. That is us done. Just make sure we've got our action card. We do. Okay, so that's that done. Core is more or less out of actions. We then get 3 armor back, so we lose 1. And now we are back in the bag. Okay, we have a white heart, which is anyone's go. Now I could throw the bomb and just kill him. Do I throw the bomb and kill him? Should we just get this over and done with? I mean, maybe. This has been real quick. I always feel like when I get to this stage, I've missed something. I think I'm just going to throw the bomb, our black powder bomb. Until I find out this is worth like 100 coins. Friendly fire, this affects seekers. It's 5 damage, it's ranged. This action doesn't have a boost card. It just counts towards the deck after playing it. Discard it, remove it from your deck. 5 damage, which is all we need to kill him. Okay, there is down to 0. He is no more. Love that. Okay. That was pretty quick. We did all right, actually. I don't think there's too much we got wrong, although I'm not 100% sure. We got a load of statuses and we just didn't get the opportunity to use those statuses, which is a bit painful. We'll tuck this at the front here. And we are going to find the book, which says, go to 1614. So let's do that.
With a great bellow, the Ursor snatches the pilgrim from behind the rock where he was cowering. You won't be taking its dinner away from it.
The Ursor enters a second stage. Place overlays 16A. Uh-oh. So he was over here. 16A and 16B. So he's got some new art. He's got the pilgrim in his hands. Look how evil he looks. Okay, so that's going up over there. I'll show you that in a second. Let me move this out of the way. The Ursor swings the pilgrim like a club. To protect him, you dare not attack with full force. 6 damage, then each seeker up to 1 space away gains a weak. Okay, and this goes over number 5, which is this one down here. Okay, so he's going to be attacking more frequently. Okay. What else happens? When an enemy enters a new stage, remove all of the statuses from its sheet. Reset it to full health. Any leftover damage does not transfer. Any ability tokens now on a passive ability are divided among the enemy's active abilities. I don't think we have any of those. Okay, apologies for that. Someone was at my door. Right, okay. Where were we then? So we finished our go. He's now completely unstunned and all of those things. He's got his new ability over here. It's back to full health. We're back in the bag. We've used a lot of our tokens. I'm drawing. We have a white heart. Okay. I'd like to get rid of these exhaustions, but I do have another bomb. Is it a bit excessive to use 2 bombs on them? I don't know if it is. I think I might use the bomb, you know. I'm going to move here and I'm going to chuck a bomb. Another bomb. 5 damage. It's a red card. You can't help us. So that's 5 damage straight away to him, which might be useful. We don't add any status effects or anything. I'd really like to get this last thing out so we can get moving. Okay. We have number 3. Uh-oh. So he is moving into our space, which means he takes 1 damage. Then he is attacking for 8. We have 4 armor. We're going to get an extra armor from Roland. So that's 4 armor. He is doing 4 damage to us. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're down to 11. Nothing else happens. I'm going to use another fate token, I think, because I want to control this a little bit if I can. We get 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. And 4. Well, I'm glad I tried to control that. Okay, good. If we do the darkness, each seeker moves into an adjacent space with a trap icon if possible. Then the seeker suffers 1 damage for each. We don't really want to do that because that would be both of us. So we're going to put these back. and use Roland here. Now this is Roland's last card, so we're going to take a load of damage after this, but this is Hammer and Tong. Before attacking, you may move into a target with this with the enemy. So we've done that. We're doing 3 damage. This is a blue and green card, so we're going to add this one to it. So that's 4 damage. So he's down to 10. And then we're going to move out of this space. However, so that's that done. We need to get rid of 1 armor from us. Okay. So that's 4 damage done to him. We're down to 10. And he is stunned. It feels like this one might be the right way to go for now. Okay. Is there anything else we want to do? I don't think so. So we're going to take 3 damage. When you discard your hand, suffer 1 damage for each card you discard. You may ignore this effect if you discard any other time. So we take 3 damage for those. Sorry, Roland. Down to 12. And then we draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we get our lantern over here. Okay. Well-timed blow was kind of what we were hoping for earlier, but... Okay, that's all of our cards out. We're back in the bag. I do have a way to redraw. I don't know if it's going to be that helpful. We have number 6, which is his stunned one. You know what? We're okay with that. So that goes over here. And he is stunned. So discard this. They cannot attack this turn. He would discard all traps. He hasn't got any. Okay. Back in the bag we go. We have Roland again. Okay. Okay, we are going to play Leech Charm, which is our charm. So while this card's in play, each time an enemy discards a status, they every time they discard a status, they take a damage. So that's fine. Then we're going to play our Lucky Beard Comb, which is this one here. I'm assuming I discard these exhaustions. I'll check that in a second. We're going to play our Lucky Beard Comb. Give 2 hurt, free action. So we're going to give 2 hurt to him. We'll put 1 here and 1 here. Okay. So that's that. And then I think we're going to play Purity. Although we've got this, which is damage for each thing on our target. And maybe want to keep that for the next one. We're going to play Purity, which is our lantern card. It's 3 damage. I can give an extra 1. So that's 4 damage, which he can't block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I couldn't take 4 away from 10 then for a second. Okay, 4 damage, plus we get to distribute 3 statuses. I think it makes sense to do stunned here. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I just need to check whether exhausted at the end of a hand, they stay in our hand or what. So bear with me. Okay, so we're all good. So they get discarded when you finish. So I think that's all of that. This gets flipped over. We got anything else? I don't think so. Right, okay, we're back in the bag. Here we go. We have a darkness. That's not great. So when this triggers, each seeker moves into an adjacent space with a thing if possible. We take a trapped card that goes into our hand. Each seeker then suffers 1 damage for each trap in their hand. Okay, we're down to 10. Not great. However, we are resetting all of the tokens, which is good news for us. I mean, obviously there's more for him to be able to do, but we had a load of tokens out. We could have been sitting here for a while before it was our turn. So the vines attacking us are a tad annoying. He was right next to us. He's a bigger target. Okay, we're back in the bag. We have Roland. Yes, Roland. Now is the time, I think. We are going to do my favourite of all, a well-timed blow. Waiting and watching for the perfect moment, you suddenly spring forward, striking with all of your might. We do 1 damage. I don't have any way to boost that. But we then do 2 damage for each status effect on the target. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That is enough for us to kill the Ursor one more time. Okay. If the Ursor is defeated, go to 16, 16. Okay, we can do that.
You pull the pilgrim out of the cave and away from the fallen Ursauer. He slumps on a rock, relieved, until he sees your faces. You ask him about the workshop fire. He stammers for a moment and then confesses.
It was our duty. That alchemist. He was attempting to manipulate Kinfire. For anyone outside the temple to do such a thing, it's heresy.
You ask the pilgrim to hand over Mika's belongings. The elf pats his pockets for a while and then shakes his head. You take a step forward, staring him down. The elf cowers, and in one quick movement, pulls out Mika's notebook.
Okay, go to 16, 17.
You escort the pilgrim back to Vinna and hand him over to the authorities. Hyot shakes each of your hands vigorously.
You must have put the fear of night into him. Were you able to recover any of Mika's belongings?
You hesitate before handing over the notebook, thinking back to what the elf had said about heresy.
Okay, interesting. So we've got a conundrum at the bottom here. Obviously, both Core and Roland are on the left here. So give the notebook to Hyot. Go to 16, 18. If you have memory, 16F, it says here. So interestingly, the app is different to this. Oh, here we go. If you have memory 16F, discard it and open a copper treasure pack. We do have 16F. So let's do that first of all, and we'll come back to the conundrum. Okay, a copper treasure pack. So the way these work is we have these little packs of cards in here. We'll open this one up. I think these can all be resealed. So we have Blinding Flash. You snap your fingers in your enemy's direction. A bright flash of light erupts from your hand. Their enemy screeches and flinches away, closing their eyes. After attacking, put 1 stun on up to 3 of your target's active abilities. And that comes with a gain an extra card. We have Shielded Blow. You stay vigilant and aware of your surroundings. You attack an enemy, careful not to let your guard down. 3 damage after attacking, gain a shield. Not bad. Might be good for Core, and that gives us a block. Shot to the knee. Okay, you fire at your enemy, hitting them right in the leg joint. That ought to slow them down. 2 damage at range, and it's 2 here. I don't know if this means anything or if it's on every card. We just haven't noticed it before. Is that something? No idea. Okay, Leech Charm. So this is the same as we already have with Roland. While this card is in play, each time an enemy discards a status, they suffer 1 damage. Again, could be really good to do, but we can only ever have 1 ward out. And then we're back to Blinding Flash. So again, new cards, we'll tuck them up here. We might do something with them a little bit later. However, both Core and Roland receive 1 Kinfire because we are doing their choice at the bottom. Remember, we said if both of them are on the same side, we'll do what they want. If it's a choice, if one on either side, we'll do that. I guess we should just put a caveat. If only one of them is on one of these sides, if we haven't got all 6, don't know if that's ever a situation, we'll follow the 1. So we're going to 16, 18.
You hand over the notebook to Hyot.
How can I thank you enough? Everything is restored. Mika's legacy, that is. His work will live on. Perhaps it will make a difference. The way he wanted.
He tucks the book under his arm and clasps each of your hands.
I owe you my eternal gratitude. Please, take this.
Before departing, Hyot hands you a small purse and gives a deep bow.
Okay, gain 3 coins. We can do that. So there's 3 more coins into our coffers. Look how rich we are. 16G memory. Despite some misgivings about the contents, You hand over Mika's alchemical notebook to Hyot. On the bright side, that might mean Hyot owes you. Look how happy he is. Okay, so we get to keep this over here. This is now done. Ash and Bramble, that's what we just finished. And all of this is finished over here, so we can get our cards back. We can recover to an extent. We can remove some statuses that are not long term, but obviously all of the lingering ones stick around. And we recover up to full health. Is there anything else we need to do? I don't think so. We can put our lantern back there, and this says gain 3 city actions. We're back in the city, going to do those next time, and we are done. We've got 2 quests to follow up. We can obviously go back to the temple and try, or to Lighthouse and try and do that, but I wonder if we want to go to the stranger before we go to the Ring of Fire. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Hopefully I didn't get too much wrong. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button, subscribe button. Follow us over on social media, on TikTok and Instagram and all of those things, where we put up loads of shorts and a few sort of bits and pieces about games coming up. And check out the Patreon, where we've got the campaign blog that goes up every week during this episode. It's there right now with my thoughts on how this went, how the story's going, any rules stuff and bits and pieces in there. So if you want to keep up to date with all of those things, that's the place to do it. It is free for everybody over there. There's loads more content on there as well. There's loads of unique playthroughs exclusive to Patreon. There's lots of how to play videos that we sort of record while we're learning games. Loads of stuff, plus the monthly vlogs when I remember to do them. So if you want to check that out, please do. Otherwise, subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like, share this video. All of those things mean a huge amount. Thank you so much, and we'll be back next week 5:30 to carry on the story. I'll see you again soon.